everybody, welcome back to the SpoonieFiles. This is Sandra, aka Kitty of Kitty Speaks, here with this week's edition. And this week's edition is actually going to be a twofer. The question was sent in. I forgot to get the viewers permission to give their name, but the question was a two-part question, and it went something like this. Do you ever feel guilty for having an autoimmune disease? And the second part of the question was, when I break it out in my butterfly rash, I feel ugly and insecure. Does that ever happen to you? These questions were asked of me personally, and so I'm going to answer them personally. I hope that's all right with you guys, and maybe you will be able to relate. The first part of the question, she and I did happen to talk on the phone, and so she kind of expounded on what she meant. She said that her family and friends sometimes make her feel guilty when she's too ill to participate in something, and then they want to, throw you down the guilt trip, and they expect for you to pack your bags and be ready to travel. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I don't do guilt. So, trying to make me feel guilty about something usually is going to have the reverse effect on me. And this is a very nasty game to play. I'm just going to be very clear about my feelings about this up front. I promised myself that I was going to work on saying so I'm going to sometimes pause when I get ready to say and have to stop myself. This is a very, very nasty thing to do to somebody. It is an especially nasty thing to do to somebody with an autoimmune disease. And let me tell you why I feel that way. This is not something that we have control of. We didn't wake up one day and say, I think what I would like is some debilitating, life-threatening, lifelong illness on my plate. So let me just have 2 or 3 of those, please. And in my case, how about 18? I didn't order this up on a menu. This is not something that I am doing to someone. This is something that is happening to me. And so you trying to make me feel guilty about something that is already making me miss out on so many of things that I love in life is nasty and hateful. I mean, it's almost like a hate crime. I feel very personally about emotional crimes against disabled people. Let me just tell you that up front. I really do feel like those of us with invisible illnesses have it kind of tougher than a lot of other disabled people because we don't look disabled. So people feel even more at liberty to just trounce all over us, and it is really, really nasty and wrong. If you are watching this and you're doing that to somebody, stop. It's really, really nasty. We already feel a lot of baggage, emotional baggage within ourselves for all of the things that we miss out on in life. It's very, very hard dealing with the fact that somebody's telling you that you have a lifelong illness that there's no cure for, and there are so many things that it impacts. First of all, it impacts our finances. If you were a working person with a career, how about having to be told you got to live on disability for the rest of your life? So now you're on a fixed income. There's no overtime for you if you want to go on a trip or something. Then put on top of that the fact that you now are going to have all these medical bills, fees and expenses that are not covered by Medicare. You're on Medicare now. Okay, you don't have that insurance that you were paying for with your job anymore. You got Medicare. And let me just tell you that Medicare, while thank God for it, and I'm happy that I have it, there are a lot of things that it does not cover. So we regularly get told that your medication is not covered. This doctor is not covered. They're not in the network area, whatever. There's so many things that we need to have that we either can't have, or we got to decide between whether or not we're going to feed our children, pay our rent, or have our medical care. Then you got to add to that all of the things that, like, for me, one of the big things for me was my children and I had a very touchy-feely, loving relationship. How about having to tell my kids when they're sick and they want my comfort that they can't be near me? I can't hug you. I can't touch you. You can't have your mom's touch because you're sick. How about all of those things? You think that we're trying to throw our illness at you as a way to get out of going to your event? We probably really wanted to attend. We spend the biggest part of our life in bed. Would you really want to do that? You think it's a good idea now because you don't do it. So you're like, man, I would love to be able to get to nap all the time. No, you wouldn't. No, you would not love to get to nap all the time. Let's just be clear. And now you want to come bring your baggage and dump it on us. You wanted us to go, or you wanted, so many people to attend your kid's birthday party, or you wanted, a nice stack of presents for your little Timmy. So you feel that you are justified in coming and telling us, yo, bud didn't want to go. No way. You just feel like you get to pump the brakes. Because one of these days, somebody's going to pull that on a spoonie, and the spoonie's going to go clean off on you. If you do not want that to happen to you, you should probably not try to pull that crap on us. We are regularly carrying around a lot of emotional dynamite that we are trying to hold inside. We work very hard not to allow what we're going through to be visible to the world. Because if you could really see how we felt, it would blow your mind. So we are trying really hard to be nice and sweet and whatever right now, when we're in a whole lot of pain. And then here you come trying to dump your package in our lap. And one of these days, somebody gonna get their head taken clean off. I'm a bet 5 on it right now and say that if it ain't already happened, it's going to happen. We are dealing with a lot. Either you are part of the solution or you are part of the problem. If you're not trying to help us in some sort of way, trying to be nasty and send us on a guilt trip that we didn't even pack for. We do not have no tickets. Our passport is out of date because when they told us that we were permanently disabled, we felt like we didn't need to renew our passport. We're not prepared for this trip. So you trying to send us on it? One of these days, it is not going to work out well. So no, I personally don't do guilt. I think it's a nasty thing to do to somebody, to even try to make them feel guilty. If you are not going to come to terms with the fact that I am permanently ill, then you should probably leave me alone. Because, you not feeling good today? No, I'm not feeling good today. I wasn't feeling good yesterday. I'm probably not going to be feeling good tomorrow. And I personally try very hard to not let the outside world in on what I'm going through. People regularly tell me that I am one of the most, cheerful, brightest people that they know. I work very hard to maintain that facade. I do. I actively work at it. So it's not like I'm sitting around waiting to say, who am I going to attack? Because I'm not that type of person. But I am trying to tell you that I do think that we are discriminated against big time, and that people really feel more at liberty to just actively pursue us as targets. I really feel that way. I mean, I really honestly feel that way. Let me just tell you, Friday, I went to the rheumatologist on Friday, and I was told, so you guys know that I've been recently diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia. And if you didn't see my post about what trigeminal neuralgia is, then please take a minute to watch that video. I hope that it was very informative, but it's extremely painful. It's very difficult for me to make these videos. You see me, doing weird stuff with my mouth a lot and always smacking and doing all of this and stuff. It hurts to talk. It really, really does. It's very, very difficult to eat. Drinking is painful. If my liquid is too hot, it's gonna hurt like the bejeebers. If it's too cold, it's gonna hurt like the bejeebers. it has really, really impacted my life in a big way. Excuse me. Plus I have Crohn's, so there's always a lot of belching. Please forgive me for that. But and acid reflux and GERD and some more stuff, so I'm sorry, but I just found out on Friday that okay, I have been given a medication to try to deal with it and help ease some of the symptoms by my pain physician on a Friday. It had to be DC'd on a Monday because I had a bad reaction to it. So the next week, the neurologist comes along and prescribes a medication that 2 days later, I DC'd myself for 24 hours to see if the reactions that I were having were in fact due to this medication. I call up the neurologist and I'm like, you know, this is what's happening to me. What do you want me to do? I haven't taken my last 3 doses because I wanted to make sure it was the medication. And the nurse is like, yeah, I think that's probably a good thing to do. And then she calls me back and says, the doctor doesn't want you to DC the medication. She wants you to just reduce it. So I was taking 1 pill TID, and then she wanted me to take half a pill BID. Well, Friday, my rheumatologist tells me to stop taking the medication completely because now I'm having these really bad muscle spasms. If you haven't noticed that I've been less active on social media, it's because when I get ready to type, my fingers are doing this, and so on top of the fact of the extra misery that I'm in, so on top of all the other misery that I already experienced, now I have this going on, plus severe TMD, which is lockjaw. So I've just been having some problems, right? So he says, stop taking the medication. The only thing that's going to relieve any of these symptoms for me is surgery. So I'm announcing that to you now. Well, the oral surgeon that I need to go to is backed up for a minimum of 3 months. And so I said to my rheumatologist 3 days ago, Friday, are you telling me that I'm just going to have to live with this for the next 3 months? And he says, I'm sorry, Sandra, but yeah. And now I'm about to start crying again like I did when he told me that. I'm saying all that to say that we go through a lot. There's a lot on our plate. Each of us individually. Your problem is certainly different than mine, but each of us individually has a lot on our plate. Do not let anybody make you feel guilty about anything. That is my answer to the question. Don't fall for the okie doke. Because whatever you're going through, I'm sure to you it is just as heavy as what I'm going through. And I don't let people play me like that. So, yeah, I'm announcing to you that my situation requires a surgery that I'm not going to be able to have for at least 3 months. Now, mind you, this is 3 months to get in for a consultation. And then they're going to have to do whatever it is that they want to do and then schedule this surgery, which is going to have to take place somewhere along the base of my spine, which is extremely dangerous. And neither my rheumatologist nor my pain doctor wants me to go through this surgery, but it is the solution to my problem. Possibly. Because one of the possible outcomes of this surgery is that my face becomes permanently numb. So, whatever. I'm going to leave that alone because I'm getting really, really emotional right now. But I hope that I've expressed adequately how I feel about that. So the second part of the question was, when I break out in my butterfly rash, I feel ugly and it affects my self-esteem. I can't remember exactly the way she worded it. Insecure. That was the way she worded it. Does that ever happen to you? I have a whole bunch of stuff I'm insecure about. Let me just tell you. my hair is a big problem for me. Right now, it is going through a period where it is growing back, and so it is not nearly as bad. I'm going to try to see if I can attach a picture to you. That is a recent picture where like my whole hairline, you can see, is very, very thin. My hairline is still very thin, but it's like camouflaged well enough right now that it's not that much of a problem. But let me see if I can pull it up for you. Like, I don't really have very much hair in the front. Like, I don't know why it is, but you can see way, I can pull up way back here, and this is not hair. It's just this little bit. And I don't know how it is that God makes that be able to look like it's not thin, but He does. This looks normal to you, but I have just demonstrated that it's not. And there are times when it's just even, but like I said, right now I'm going through a growth period. So I did a post this morning that you should be able to see right now about my hair growth journey and what it is that I am doing that is, you know, helping my thinning situation. So I just wanted to demonstrate to you that I have the same problem that you have. I recently, about 6 months ago, I cut my hair to about right here. Very short. Because I thought that if it was shorter, it would mask some of the thinness. But it is growing out very well. This is my own hair. This is my hair growing out of my scalp. So my ponytail is this long. So my hair is quite a lot longer when it's down. And I have done a post for you that you should have access to right now showing you exactly what it is that I'm doing. Now, mind you, this is a 6-month journey. So it's not like a miracle thing, but I am happy with it and it works for me. It doesn't require a lot of maintenance like some of the other things that I have looked into. And I was happy to share that information with you, and hopefully it can help you too. Another thing that I am really sensitive about is I have Sjogren's syndrome, and I've had to have 7 teeth extracted. I have to have another one extracted that's going to be extracted in like 3 weeks, and I am hopefully looking into being able to finance replacing at least 2 of them. So I'm going to show you right now one of the things that I am really, really self-conscious about. This is gross, but see this missing tooth? I am really self-conscious about that. So when I smile, I try to have all my pictures be from my good side, or when I smile, I try not to smile all the way back where that shows, because I am really self-conscious about it to the point of like it makes me want to cry. Let me see, something else that I'm sensitive about. Bladder and bowel, like having to wear diapers. I do sometimes have to wear diapers. And I can't control myself, and it's not just my bladder. So that is something that I'm really, really sensitive about to the point of tears. So, yes. The answer to your question is yes. I do have things that affect my self-esteem and that I am really, really sensitive about, just like we all do. And so even though that was very personal, I think that we are all a family, and I wanted to share it with you so that you know that my journey is just like yours. So we are coming up on about 20 minutes, so I think that's about enough yapping for me because my mouth is really starting to hurt. I try to save myself. I try to not do a lot of talking on days when I need to make these posts for you, because these posts are really, really important to me. You guys are my Spoonie fam, and I love you like cooked food. So until next time, love, peace, and ear grease. Ciao.